as Raza, we need more people like that. We're hard workers. We bust our ass. Me as an example, I was depressed. My ex left me. I couldn't see my kid. I was drinking a lot. I was in alcohol. But I said, I want more. I had 3 locations and I still didn't have my own house. I still wasn't where I wanted to be. But I want to invite you on this. What if it works out? What if it's possible? What if they say yes? The difference between ordinary and extraordinary is the little extra effort you put in.
So when you came back from Mexico, you came back by yourself? You didn't come back with your mom?
No, she was still over there. It was hard. I met this guy. Hey, quiero un burrito. Oh, jefe, disculpe, no vendemos burritos. We don't sell burritos. Ah, qué chingados venden.
What's poppin'? It's your boy Moses, aka Knomoe, chilling right here inside the Let Out Podcast. I got a very special guest in the building. I got Mr.
Hi guys, this is Teddy from Teddy's Red Tacos. You may or may not have heard about us, but I'm excited and grateful to be here. Thank you for the invite.
Appreciate it.
Here in the beautiful city of Southgate.
Yeah.
Come check us out as well. We have a spot on Long Beach and Independence. If you like birria, which I highly recommend, you guys won't regret it. So let's start with this and let's make it happen.
Yeah, I always start off the podcast saying like, welcome to Southgate, but it's kind of hard telling you welcome to Southgate. You literally have a location.
Why not? You know, it's Southgate.
Yeah, you know. Let's start there because that location used to be a Marisco's place, right? And it's right on the border of HP and Southgate, right by the train tracks. Why there? Why Southgate? What made you draw to that location?
You know what? That's a great question. You know what? Long Beach is a very, very great street. Mm-hmm. You know what? Back in the days, there used to be, you know, other paisas we used to hang out. You know, Long Beach, Pacific. I remember I was younger and used to you know just love hanging out, cruising down on Pacific Street, and a couple years later, who would have thought? You know, like the owner gave us a call and during pandemic times.
Oh wow!
And we were ready and we were to purchase a property and convert it into a Teddy's.
You know, I haven't been inside that one, but did you have to do like lots of construction? Because I feel like it took, in my eyes, I'm like, when is it gonna open? I couldn't wait for it to open, right? But was there like a struggle to like kind of get it open with that location?
Yeah, it was a bit of a struggle, but you always have to keep in mind your end goal, right? You say, you know what, it's part of the process. Some cities are stricter than others. Some don't. But I was just happy to be in the city.
Okay.
So I'm grateful to be here and excited to be part of the city as well.
Appreciate it. Yeah, you have a very interesting story. You know, you're one of the bigger figures, probably the biggest figure, a Latino businessman in our day of age, you know. So I definitely want to get into your story. Tell us about where you were born and some of the early years for you. So,
yeah, of course. My story's a bit different. I was born here in LA. I was actually born in I think is it Linwood or 120th, the Martin Luther King Hospital.
Okay.
So I was born over there. Used to live in Linwood for a couple years before my dad made the decision to take us back to Puebla. I was maybe 6-7 years old.
Okay.
So
you did go to school a little bit.
Yeah, I went actually to what's it called? Lindbergh Kindergarten or Lindbergh Elementary.
Okay.
So I went to kindergarten into elementary out here, and I knew English, obviously, a little bit. So I went to Mexico, went to a rancho, and it was tough, man. It was tough going to the city, to a little rancho with no internet, back then with no cell phones. It was tough, you know. It was tough. The process, just going back and people criticizing you because you had nice shoes. It was Payless. It was Payless shoes.
That was nice shoes to them?
Yeah, you know, from wearing huaraches to Payless shoes. It's, you know.
Like you can't see your toes, those are nice.
Yeah, you know, Payless shoes were nice, you know.
Dang.
Payless shoes were nice. Well, compared to, you know, from the mercado, from the rancho, you know, they were nicer. So it was hard to trying to adapt to a different kind of culture. No friends, no friends, nothing. But little by little, I started falling in love with the school, the rancho, which is you can go and swim in the river, and it was something beautiful. You know, I went to elementary over there, middle school, high school, and I didn't graduate over there. I got an invitation to come back to LA. And go to school over here.
Oh, so you finished up over here?
Yes. Actually, I did 6 months at HP High School.
No way. So
Yeah.
you're a Spartan.
I was there for six months. It was just weird, man, because I had to take ESL classes and I was just hungry. I was hungry. I was trying to make money, get a job, and people would ask me, "Hey, what do you do? ¿Qué haces en las tardes?" I'm like, "I go to work." "What do you do on the weekends?" "I work."
Oh, so you were working already.
Yeah, luego, like as soon as I came here, my mom knew this lady that had like a 99-cent store
Okay.
in South Central, Avalon and 53rd.
Oh, wow.
And next to a swap meet. A swap meet's not there anymore. And I was excited to work. I was excited because coming from the rancho, I didn't have to work that much because I was, my dad had land. So we weren't poor, but we weren't rich either. But compared to Mexico and the city here, for me it was easy because a 99-cent store, you just have to pretty much open a box and just stock the shelves. And we had AC. The owner would buy us lunch. Compared to Mexico, I would have to be in the sun all day, making. Back then, you will get paid 100 pesos. 100 pesos was equal to $5 a day, bro. $5 a day. Here, I was getting paid $50 a day.
Ooh.
And just stocking stuff. So I was excited. I was motivated, and I think I never lost that motivation or that hunger. Because I will always remember how's life somewhere else. Mm-hmm. So once you know that, sometimes we think it's hard over here, but compared to what? Mm. If you travel a little bit, like me, like I go to Mexico a lot, and like when I start feeling ungrateful, or I start saying or noticing it's hard out here, just take a look how other people live in other countries, and you can tell we're beyond blessed. So sometimes we have to stop and analyze and say, why am I complaining? Why am I ungrateful? Well, compared to, if you look at people in Mexico, they're struggling. They're like, now they get paid $200, 200 pesos, which is like $10 a day, give or take, to be working in El Campo. And you're like, man, I can make that over here. If you're a bartender or a waitress, you get that in one tip, $10, easy. So that helped me a lot. My perspective was different. Compared to my friends in high school, I was trying to work. I was trying to get a car. I was trying to, give money to help my family over there in Mexico.
Yeah.
So I think that made a bit of a difference because my hunger was there.
Was the high school experience, even though it was only 6 months, was it a little kind of a difficult one? Was it a learning curve, or you are in HP because sometimes people call HP like it's a paisa town, like all the first generation people or like everyone's parents are from there. So I would assume some people were understanding, but there's always those people that trying to make fun, trying to be the class clown, be funny. How was your experience in high school here?
Well, it was interesting because I was put in ESL with the new guys. With the kids with 9th grade, and I was a senior, but they dropped me down to the 11th grade because my English wasn't there and all this stuff. So yeah, of course they always make fun of you and they try to make you feel less because you don't know the language as the same as someone from here.
Right.
And you dress different. I remember I was. The first thing I wanted, like a gold chain. So I started working, and right away I bought my gold chain with a big cruz. and then I bought my gold bracelet. And I would just just show it. I like to show it off. And I would stand out from the crowd right away because, like, oh, this guy's straight paisa. I was a straight paisa. My English had a bigger accent back then. You can tell right away from when someone just came from Mexico. Right. And I was one of them.
Right.
So it's hard because you don't have any friends, but it's like, it is what it is. It is what it is. And I was there for 6 months and I had to leave. I moved to the valley.
Oh, really? Which valley?
Out in North Hills. I used to live in North Hills by Northridge.
Oh, so San Fernando Valley.
Yes.
How long were you there for?
I was out there for a year and a half.
Okay, what were you doing out there?
I was going to school as well.
Okay.
So I moved I was living here I was living in South Central. I actually I wanted to go to Jeff,
Okay.
but I couldn't
Why'd you want to go there?
because I heard it was the ghettoest
Yeah, I was about to say, why would you want to go
high
there?
school. I wanted to be part of it. I wanted to say I was in the ghettoest high school. I made it, but I couldn't. I couldn't. It was too packed. So I had to get like a different address from a family member in HP. So I was able to. I would catch 2 buses.
Damn.
From South Central. I used to live on 40th and by King and Broadway. So I catch a bus on Broadway and King to Slauson, and then from Slauson to I think State in Slauson. I'll get off there and just walk to school. So we just only 2 buses.
And then when you were in the valley, you're at another high school. Or you went to college.
Yeah, I went to another high school over there.
Okay.
Monroe High School.
Monroe.
And
How was that a big like culture shock? Was it a big difference?
Yes, it was different as well. People over there were a little more chill. Not as maybe more chill than
Not as rowdy.
than HP. But I remember this. I was more intimidated over there. I don't know why. Maybe less paisas over there. And I remember this friend. She became my friend afterwards. Then she passed away in a car accident, unfortunately. Her name was Rosa. And Rosa was like an angel because I was intimidated, like going to high school and you have no friends, you're in a place where you don't know anybody. And she noticed that. She noticed I was new, I was afraid, I was, like just lonely. And she approached me, she asked me, "Hey Teddy, you're new?" I said, "Yes." "Do you have any friends, any cousins?" Like nothing. I said, "Okay, I'm gonna take you to where my friends kick it, and I'm gonna tell them you're my cousin. They just came from Mexico, and that's all you need. Like you'll be good. All right." So back then, these guys were all pretty boys, with diamond earrings, the nice shoes and everything. And I was a paisa, straight paisa, straight like unbuttoned shirt, with the chain popping out. And these guys straight, pretty boys, and just me, like all these guys here and just me, right? So they'll walk, I'll walk, and we had nothing in common.
Yeah.
I'm paisa from the rancho, and these guys talking in English and talking about hanging out at night, and I had gotten a job at Target.
Oh,
so
wow.
I couldn't even hang out, so I had to go to work. So just school, and then I'm out, I would work after school and the weekends. So I couldn't pretty much build a relationship with them because I had to go to work.
Right.
But then, check it out. Then I started using the same principles that were used on me. Meaning, I started recruiting other new students. I saw some paisas coming in. "Hey, you know what? ¿Eres nuevo?" "Yeah." "Okay, vente, vas a ser mi amigo." And then I started having, it was a little crew, and then I had another one. And then, we started recruiting people. So now we had our crew. And then little by little, we kind of like, some of that crew went to jail, drop out.
Oh, shit.
Got stabbed. And then I think now we were stronger than the other one. So they started merging with us. So we had like a little clica, paisa clica going on.
And it's crazy because I feel like right now, if you've been a paisa for a long time, back then it wasn't as cool as it is right now to be paisa. Right now, paisa is in, right? Peso pluma, fuerza regida.
Right.
Being paisa is super cool. Back then, it was like if you were a real paisa, like it was like English music, Spanish music was you couldn't have both. You couldn't like both.
Right. Either. Yeah.
It was one or the other, right?
So
yeah, but I mean, I guess nowadays it's cool that you like both. But anyways, so you were working at Target. How long were you working at Target for?
Like a year probably.
Okay.
I loved it. It was pretty cool. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Nice.
I would finish school at 3:15. I would get in my bicycle and I would just get home, change, eat something real quick, and start work at 4.
Nice.
So I would live a couple blocks from Target.
Okay.
So it was cool.
What did you love about it?
Same thing. It was easy. It was easy. Me focusing in on Mexico. I was making, like minimum wage. Back then was minimum wage. I think was $6.75. I think $6.75 or $9.75. I don't remember. But the good thing, I was able to get discounts. So I would see, okay, I would get discounts. I was in sporting goods in another department, and they would get clearance. So I started buying all that stuff, like bicycles that were on clearance, trastes, anything that will make sense that I could ship to Mexico, I will buy. So there were stuff for cheap. So hey, my mom can use this, my tia can use this. So like some trastes, some plates, they were like $5, $10, like from 25 to to $5 or $10. Hey, this makes sense.
And you would ship them to sell them or just to give?
No, just to give them away. Like, you know what? I'm gonna go visit my mom in vacations, so I would just buy stuff to have them, and whenever I would need them to go a party, I already have like a nice set.
Oh, okay.
Because I would get them at a discount. There's nothing wrong with them, but since like every season they have to get rid of them.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. So I figured out the system, and I said, okay, what's going to be in clearance? So I would hide them somewhere else. Okay, they're dropping them. Okay. Once they drop, cause I think they would change the sticker back then. I have different stickers. So that means you're gonna get drop off more and more. And then I said, that's the final sticker. When they were, I think, unread. It's been too long. I said, okay, now it's time. Okay, I want that one.
Nice.
So I was able to purchase a lot of things like that.
So when you came back from Mexico, you came back by yourself? You didn't come back with your mom?
No, she was still over there.
Damn.
So it was hard. Then my parents had problems. My mom had to come back to the U.S.
By herself, without your dad?
Yes. She separated. They got divorced. And my mom came over with my two sisters and a younger brother. Then that's when I moved back to, she got here to South Central with my tia. And I think we lived there for a couple months in South Central. And then we got our own place, an apartment in East LA. And we were there for 18 years.
Oh, wow. Did you notice a big difference living in South Central to East LA?
Yeah.
Yeah, what was the big difference?
It's just different,
Yeah.
It's just different.
The demographic, right?
Everything's different.
It's just like more of a bicycle town, kind of like HP was, right?
Yeah.
But I think also too, what some people forget about East LA is that there's families that are Mexican, but they've been there for like 5 generations.
Yeah.
So they're very Mexican American.
Yes.
But there's a lot of like first generation people there too.
Yes, and South Central is a lot of immigrants.
Yeah.
A lot of people just got from Mexico, and South Central is the first landing, and then wherever they go.
Yeah. So I kind of get a sense that you've always kind of like been a person who likes to work or at least make money, right? When you have a couple jobs, like you got your gold change, you got your stuff on clearance. When did you make that shift? Where like, you know what, I kind of want to work for myself now.
You know what? I think that's something that has to come from within. We were talking earlier. That's something that has to come from within, because my dad, when he was out over here, he had a good job. He used to work for United Airlines. He was a mechanic. He was an aviation mechanic. So I always my passion is cars. I love buying, selling, fixing, trading cars, trucks, classic cars, lowriders, all that kind of stuff. So when I was in high school, I wanted to get in school for automotive mechanics. But my mom and my dad were like, hey, you know what? If you go in mechanics, why not go to aviation mechanics? You get more money. Look at your cousin. I had a cousin that was doing that. He's already successful. He's doing good. He's traveling the world. He gets all these benefits. You can do the same thing if you do that thing, right? So back then, I wasn't as committed to my goals as I am now. So I listened to my parents, and I took that route. So anybody listening to this podcast, if somebody's forcing you to do something because it's better pay, better money, but your heart's not there, you're just doing it for the money, sooner or later, you're going to realize how miserable you are. Because that happened to me. You know, I went to school for aviation mechanic. I graduated from that. I started working as an aviation mechanic. And in the beginning, everything was like, oh, okay, cool. You know what? You start dreaming. Okay, I can buy a new house. I can buy a new car. I can buy a house, and I have these benefits. And people will come to you and like, hey, congrats, man, you made it. And, oh, cool. You know, I was young, early 20s. You know, graduating, working at Robinson's Helicopters.
Okay.
And the company's still there. But at the same time, something crazy happened. I got invited and exposed to network marketing company around that age, right? And deep down, I always wanted to be my own boss. I wanted to have my own business, but I didn't know how. I didn't know where to start. I had the belief that you needed money to have your own business. That was my thoughts back then. It was like, oh, well, if you only get a technical career, which I had, my income could only be certain, right? I didn't go to USC, to UCLA, famous universities over here in LA. My thought was, I can't be successful at that level because I didn't have that kind of school. That was my knowledge back then, my thinking. And when I got exposed to network marketing, I started listening to books of success, of money. And in the beginning, I was very close-minded to it. I was very, that shit doesn't work, bro. You know, self-help. I don't need no help. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. You know, like, I don't need any help. I was proud. Imagine, I was proud to say I graduated high school on stage and I never read a book.
Oh my God.
That was my thinking.
That was something to brag about.
I would brag. Hey, you know what? I never wrote an essay on school. I never. Because I was, you know, and I don't know how to write an essay. I know how to say essay. What's up, essay? But I don't know. And it's embarrassing now.
Right.
I don't, you know, if I would have paid attention to class, to school, I would have known how to write an essay. But I knew, well, okay, I don't know how to write an essay, but you do. Right? So I approached smart people. I said, well, hey, help me out. I have to go to work. You know, I'll pay you. Let's work something out. So, you have the skills for the essay, and I need those skills. But I have the money. So what if we work something out?
Yeah, you're being resourceful.
So I use my resources. So I would say to be resourceful. And I was always a C student. I was never an A.
Right.
I knew maybe if I would to put my time to it, I would have probably learned some stuff. But I would just knew like the basic stuff, and I said, you know what, that's good enough. But if I would have put some more, taken more advantage of the school system, I would have, you know, it would have probably helped out a lot more.
So you find yourself at a job that you're not completely happy with, but it's definitely, you know, you're kind of like just there floating around, and then you start listening to like motivational stuff.
Yes.
And me too, because that's happened to me too, where I was also in an MLM, and I also did start learning to like, listening to like videos or watching YouTube videos like, what's that guy's name? Jim Rome, and then Zig Ziglar. And then Zig Ziglar has his voice that I don't know. I got addicted to it.
Right.
But at first, dude, like I would be like, this is kind of corny. Like this is kind of lame. And then I'll just little by little fall in love with it. And I'll try to share it with people that I feel like my friend needs this. And they're like, oh, you're tripping. Like there's no way I will come. So it's kind of like the self-help journey is a very lonely journey. What did you like about it? What did you learn from that?
Well, to be honest, I still listen to that. Once I got introduced to personal development, which is the Jim Rome's, Zig Ziglar, and then I started doing my own research. I would go to a library. I would start, you know, like I would start going to Barnes and Nobles to that self-help section books. And little by little, I would open a book and like, wow, this is good stuff. Wow, this is some good stuff. Wow, wow. And I was just like, wow, wow, wow. And I started believing that I can become something, that I can become someone. So little by little, I started believing that maybe I can eventually acquire something, and then I started associating with people that were doing good and better than me. And it's, you know what, especially when you're trying to achieve something, you want to associate with that kind of people, with people that are going somewhere. So if you're stuck in life right now, check your surroundings. Who are you talking to? What are you listening to? What are you watching? We have to be so cautious, because you're like, I'm trying to get ahead, but we're hanging out, we're drinking, no offense. I used to love to drink every weekend, and I used to drink all the time. But if you're trying to accomplish a goal and you're hanging out every weekend, I need a beer, it's a long week. It's kind of tough, man. Unless you already made it, okay, cool, man. Congrats. Go get your beer. Go have some fun. But if you're trying to acquire something, get a goal, reach something, you have to invest the time, put all the party, all the hanging out, and start investing in yourself. Turn some TV off, and the music, the friends, the hanging out, the phone, and start getting a book of how to, it's crazy. People spend years to write a book. How they became successful. They were broke, and they found a way, and they write a book. Hey, you know what? I did this, and that. And I went from being broke to being rich. Here, read it. That's all we have to do. Pay $10, $15, $20. But we're too busy watching Netflix. We're too busy on YouTube, watching TikTok, whatever, When this person spent all their life trying to figure it out, he figured it out, he writes a book, and we're too busy to open the book, to get the book.
Damn.
And there's hundreds and hundreds of people that have done it. And all we have to do is just go to that resource to read biographies of successful people. When I'm down and about, when I'm doubting myself, it's like, hey, what would have they done? Then I see my problems and I see their problems. I'm like, wow, this is nothing compared to that. So we just have to, just look back in history, all the people that have done it. What was their excuse? And now, what are my excuses? Are they even valid compared to that? Like, no. Why am I crying? Why am I whining? Come on, let's make it happen. Let's get positive. Let's do some action. Let's do something. Come on. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, definitely love the self-help stuff, because it kind of changes your mindset, right, into kind of like focusing on the future instead of like the now, right? But growing up in Los Angeles, right, as a young Hispanic man, we kind of always have to kind of deal with almost similar struggles, which is like our homies want to have a beer after work or after party, and the girls want us to take them out. So it's always kind of a struggle as far as like focusing your time on the right things, right? Did you ever have a struggle with like maybe partying too much or indulging in too much, or did you always have a control over like the drinking and the partying? Because some people fall victim to the partying.
When I was younger, I didn't. I had no goals. I thought everything was good. I would just, I'll go to Cerrito, I'll go to TJ, I will hang out, I will party a lot. But now looking back, say, wow, if I would have used that time more in a better way, maybe I would have be in a different situation now. Meaning, you only... Sometimes we're stuck, or we're in the position we are because we don't have enough information. We don't know better, right? We don't know better. But if you knew better,
you do better.
You do better. If you don't do better, it's because you don't want to. Your why is not strong enough. Your why has to be strong enough. What does that mean? your goals, your ambitions, your dreams, whatever it is, it could be as having your own place, having a new car, being able to pay rent on time, whatever it is, you have to have a strong why. And once you have that, once you identify what's your why, like, so an example, something that hurts or something that motivates you, like my why was, I was 30 years old. I was still living at my mom's, and I was embarrassed. I had no money. So that was my why. I said, you know what? I need to get my mom out of this situation. We've been living in an apartment for 18 years. So I had a strong why. So when you have something, you have to decide, what's your why? That's the first thing. What's my why? Why am I doing this? Why are you doing this podcast? Why are you working so hard? Why? Once you identify your why, like in my case was, I need to get my mom out of here. I never have money. I'm always struggling with rent. So my why, I made it, I don't want to be in this situation anymore. What am I going to do? So I made a commitment to myself to never be in that situation. So when I made the decision, people, going back to your question, people would ask me, hey, Teddy, let's have a beer. Friends, hey, let's go out, let's hang out. You meet a new girl or girlfriend, let's go hang out, let's do this, let's do that. But what about your why? Mm-hmm. If you don't have a strong enough why, any distraction will distract you, right? So when I was in the process of for my why, people would say, hey, Teddy, we're having a little barbecue, una carne asada, Kyle. I'm like, nope. No. There's nothing for me to celebrate. Why would I be hanging out, having a beer on a Saturday night when I can be reading a book to help me achieve some success? I couldn't be having a beer when I was broke. I just couldn't. It would boggle my mind. It would mess with my head, saying, I'm having a beer here when I can be watching a YouTube, watching a documentary. I can be in the library. I can be learning something that would change my future. So I would, I wanted to go hang out. I wanted to have fun. But I said, I don't want to be in this situation anymore. So it has to hurt. It was hurting. It was starting to be broke. But sometimes we put that hurt to the side and, it's easier to go have a beer. Yeah, it's easy. Easy. Yeah, it's easy to hang out, go have fun. It's easy. But easy doesn't attract any things that are worth having. Things that are last. So if you want things to last a long time, you have to change that mindset, because my mindset got me where I was. I was broke. I had a broke mindset. So I was, I would come out of work. I was watching TV all evening, talking to my friends, just nothing productive. So one of my teachers said, Teddy, if you want things to change, you need to change. And I didn't, where do you start? Where do you start changing? He said, Teddy, you're broke because you're doing what other broke people are doing. I'm like, that was hard. Like, that's hard to hear.
Right.
You're broke because you're hanging around broke people. You're talking like broke people. You're listening to what broke people listen to. You're watching what broke people are watching. You're reading what broke people read. But he said, it's very easy. Stop that. Now start reading what rich people read, listening to positive things. And it's pretty cool because our mind is like a garden. In this book by James Allen, As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. Prior for me knowing all this stuff, I was like, wow, my garden's all beat up. It's all dirty. I would throw all this negativity. My mom would tell me that's things not gonna work. My family, my cousins, like, Teddy, you're crazy. That's not gonna work out. Just a bunch of negative stuff. So once I started learning all this, I started being very selective of my families, friends, and associations. Because if you have a dream, if you have something that you want to do, you have something you want to pursue, and you have someone always telling you, oh, that's not gonna work out, you're dumb, you're crazy, you need to step away from that. Because this is what I'm not sure if this is real or not, but for every negative comment, let's say I tell you, oh, you know what, you're not gonna make it, that's something negative. You need 14 positive for that one negative.
Oh, wow.
So
That cancel out.
Yeah, just to make up for that one. So I tell you, oh, you're crazy, that's not gonna work out. You need 14. Yes, you can. Yes, it's possible. I believe in myself. You start telling yourself positive affirmations. Yes, I can. It's possible. And you start naming your blessings. Start being grateful for the things you have. You want to wake up saying thank you, and for the little things that you have. Once you're grateful for all the blessings you have, like today I was able to wake up. Thank you, God. I woke up. I'm healthy. And you start naming all the blessings. Once you start naming your blessings, that gives you room for more. But if you're ungrateful, complaining, whining, criticizing about everything, that makes no you have no room for any blessings because you're just complaining. But if you're grateful for the things you have, you're gonna get more of those blessings. It's crazy how this thing works.
So do you feel like all the self-help books and all the things are kind of like a guide towards like what kind of got you to this moment here? Do you think you would have made it this far without that positive mindset?
Oh, you need to. That thing it's essential. Like listening, believing, seeing yourself, reading the books. It's part of it. It goes hand in hand. You can become successful and have money, but you don't have the mindset. So that's why a lot of lottery winners go bankrupt after 5 years, because they acquire the money, but they never acquire the mindset. So you want to acquire the mindset. If you put money in your mind would put money in your pockets. It's crazy how that works. But we're not willing to put any money to learn about success, about happiness, about investments. We're too busy. Oh, why would I buy a book, $20? A book, I can just go buy something else, a case of beers. Yes, a case of beers will get you, you have a good time, but that book will give you ideas, will give you knowledge that can explode your business, can take you to a whole different level. But if we're willing to invest, learn, and apply what we use. So,
you're most known. Would you say you're most known for your tacos, or the commercial about the tacos?
Well, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Because people, I got a lot of criticism from that. I got criticized. Oh, you know what? He just became successful because he came on the Super Bowl.
Oh, wow. That's it. That's what people are saying?
Yeah, a lot of people say, oh, se hizo famoso porque salió en el Super Bowl. Okay. People are free to say whatever they choose to, and I don't get affected by that. But what's crazy? In order to become on the Super Bowl, we're already successful. Just to start off with that. Just to be on the Super Bowl, you have to have some success, right? So it wasn't like we just randomly, that the Super Bowl company were just driving around. Oh, Teddy, oh, Mente, you know what? You have some good tacos. You know what? We're gonna put you in the Super Bowl. It's your lucky day today. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like, oh, we just driving by and someone heard about Teddy's and, oh, why not? You want to be part of the Super Bowl? I wish. I would have been cool, right?
Right.
But no. That's what people look at. Oh, people didn't even knew about him, and he got the Super Bowl, and now he has all these locations. But reality, it's not like that. Why? Because when we opened the first food truck on Sloss in South Central, it wasn't like, oh wow, Teddy, he's selling birria, let's go. Oh man, it was back then. I'm talking in 2017 when we opened that food truck there. We had opened Teddy's in October 2016, 9 months before that. But when we opened the food truck 2017, back then there was, and you know this, there were no birria trucks, there were no birria restaurants. We were used to the traditional birria. You know, you go to a restaurant and you get birria in a bowl with tortillas a mano and birria de chivo.
It was always like quinceañeras or weddings. You don't
Right.
only time you eat birria.
Right. So I wanted to bring something different to the birria game. And I wanted to bring something different, something new, something totally out of context. I didn't know if it was gonna work. I had no idea. I only had my brain and my heart, and my hungerness and my willingness and my dreams and my ambitions, right? So it wasn't like I came on the Super Bowl and I'm famous and all this success. No, you know, in order for me to come in the Super Bowl, it was a long process, even though it was a short period of time. But we're doing a lot of things in between. What does that mean? So we only had birria. We only had we came out with this concept. It was called the Deluxe. The Deluxe #1 seller. It consists of a plate of 4 items: a quesadilla, a mini quesadilla, molita, taco, a tostada, and a caldito with chips and salsa. Came up with that idea, which became a #1 seller. To this day, it's our most popular item. But I would read, and it's because of reading all those books, listening to those audios, that helped me change people's perspectives. Meaning, I can give you some examples. I was reading this book by Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. If you're like me, you don't have, you're explosive, you don't have you know how to deal with people. I highly encourage that book, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, right? So I had read it the night before about how to negotiate. They were having trouble with the landlord, and the landlord wanted to kick them out. And I kind of read that part, right? The next day, my younger brother was having an altercation with a manager because we were parked on the railroads on Slauson, but the neighbor, he owns a trucking school, and they wanted us out of that area. So he got into it like, hey, you know, we're in the streets, whatever. You can't kick me out. I'm in the streets. And you know, my brother wanted to fight with them, and it was too late when I realized that what had happened. It was too late. He already left. A few minutes later, the owner came out, right, and he was mad, and I was like, shoot, you know, like the manager and the owner came out, so I came out. I said, hey, you know what? The owner is talking to me. Like, are you Teddy? I'm like, yes. Hey, I sent the manager to tell you that we don't want you guys here. It's about publicity for our business. And you know what? We're already dealing with a lot of homeless people here, and we don't want a food truck next to our business. And you know, your brother's giving us attitude. He's trying to fight the manager. You know what? Either you leave or I'm going to call the cops. So what would you do, or anybody listening to this, what would you do? You know how your brother, instead of fixing the situation, makes it worse? Mm-hmm. And now you have this spot, and they're threatening to kick you out and call the cops. And you want that spot. You know, I wanted that spot. Because I had the vision that this spot is a gold mine. But if it wasn't for the books that I had just read the night before, I would say, you know what, do whatever you want. I'm in the street, da-da-da-da. Fuck it, you know, excuse my language.
Yeah, macho man.
Do whatever you want to do. So I said, no, that's not going to work out. I need to be smarter than that. So I said, you know what? I apologize for my brother. He was drunk, which he was. You know what? He's drunk, but instead of talking about, this is what I learned. Instead of talking about our differences, let's talk about how can we work together. That's the only thing that I learned, right? And he said, all right, how can we work together?
Oh, okay.
Shoot. So I had to think quick. Okay. So you said you don't want the homeless people here. I said, you know what? I agree with you. I don't want these homeless people either. You know, we're selling food. We have families, and it stinks, and it looks bad, and it smells bad. Why don't you know? Let me work with the homeless people, and also, you're running a school, right? You want publicity. I see. We attract a lot of people here. Why not? You know, you can put a banner that you have a trucking school, and our customers can see that, hey, well, you have a school here, and it's going to be free publicity for you. And we can do something else. You also have students and you have teachers. Let's work something out that you can give a discount. We can give a discount for your employees and for your students. And it will be a win-win. Let me take care of the homeless situation. It will be free publicity for you, and we'll give you a discount for your students and your teachers. He looked at me like, okay, you have a deal. Damn. But I want you to push your truck further down. I said, okay, no problem. And to this day, we're still there. We're not on the railroads. We're a little bit in the alley, in the side, because we're fixing the railroads. But if it wasn't for that, we would have been probably Teddy's Red Tacos wouldn't exist right now.
Wow.
Because everything happened there. You know, the Super Bowl commercial, the filming for other stuff, they wanted that location. They wanted that location. So if I would have been, you know, driving around, we probably wouldn't be here.
That's such a crazy story. That, you know, that's very specific story where that really kind of catapulted you, or at least help you build that momentum to be where you're at right now.
Right, and also, if you're, you know, and this goes for anybody dealing with any kind of situations. You know, this is if you're dealing with any kind of goals you're dealing with. Let's say, how can I say it? Anybody dealing with pretty much having anybody giving you a hard time. It could be anybody, your spouse, family, friends, or even yourself too. If you go back to the same thing, if your why is not strong enough, anything's going to bring you down. Your why has to be so strong that when you feel down, you have to look at either a picture, you have to have a dream board. Think, I want that car. I want the white Maserati like you want. How bad do you want it? So when you're having a down moment, when your mom's talking shit to you, oh, that thing's not gonna work. You have to look at your dreams. Oh, you know what? Let me prove to you. Let me prove you guys. Let me prove you guys wrong. That it's gonna happen. Sooner or later, it's gonna happen. But you have to be willing to pay the price. You have to be willing to open a book, learn some positive stuff, turn the TV off, listen to people. There's so many people out there having so much information that if we use it, oh, we can explode, bro. We can explode. Like this, our cell phones. This is huge because this can either take time away from you or you can use it to invest time. Because you can use it to be watching videos, having a good time, you know, just scrolling, seeing what other people are posting, or use it as a tool to learn and to get ahead. So it's what do you choose to use it for? To waste your time or to invest your time? It's simple. It's simple. You choose, you know, it's easy to do and it's easy not to do.
Right.
So we have to pay the price. Someone told me this, and I'll share this with you guys. We have to pay the price, right? Either we'll pay it now or we're gonna pay it later. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, why? Well, I'm young. I wanted to party. I want to have a good time. Okay, that's fine. My teacher said, go ahead, have a good time. Go ahead and party. But then you have to go work the rest of your life and depend on Social Security, families, or someone to help you out. Or unless you're able to have properties and have a business, maybe you'd be good. But if you're not able to do that, you have to depend on somebody else. If you don't pay the price ahead. Because if you don't pay ahead, you have to pay it later. But the price has to get paid. So that's what unfortunately you see people older still have to be working. Because maybe they chose not to pay the price, or they didn't know there's a price to pay. But if you know, now that you know there's a price to pay, let me get better. Let me work on my skills. Let me work on my selling skills. Let me work on how to be more polite, more grateful, more happy. All this basic stuff that, going back to the Super Bowl commercial, you know what got me to the Super Bowl? The attitude of, you know what? We love to call attitude gratitude in Teddy's. Why did I came up with that? Because we live in LA. LA is one of the hottest LA is one of the hottest markets in the world. And I put my business, LA, South Central. We're selling birria tacos. And for you to come to my spot, have a taco from any other place you can go to, and you chose to come to my spot, I'm grateful for that. So even to this day, I'm grateful that people go to our spots. Because of that, we provide a lot of jobs to a lot of people. Because of that one decision, right? So I'm beyond grateful for people that go and purchase from Teddy's. But going back to what got me to the Super Bowl, it's we show that attitude of gratefulness to people. Hey, thank you, Moises. Thank you for stopping by. Or when people would show up, hey, welcome to Teddy's Red Tacos. Thank you for stopping by. Welcome to Teddy's Red Tacos. Thank you for stopping by. That attitude literally has opened me so many doors.
It's funny that you said that, because obviously this is our first time meeting, right? But my mom remembers you that one time her and her sister, my tia, they went to go eat, and that you went up to him and started talking to him. And you had a you had a conversation with them. And I was like, oh, he's really nice. Like, the owner came and talked to us. Like, it was one of the things that she, like, it really made her like now she wants you to win, you know? Like, that really made her want to, like, oh, I like Teddy. His tacos are really good, and he's a nice guy. Like, he's super cool. You know, like, why is that important to you, to get along with your customers like that?
Well, just me personally, I'm just very grateful. And just knowing that they love my product, my food, I was like, wow, thank you. And I genuinely love to know people, their story, where they come from. You know, just tell me more about you. How did you end up in Teddy's? We're in South Central. We're like one of the hottest cities. How did you hear about Teddy's? Tell me. Oh, I was just driving by, or, okay, cool. What do you do for work? Oh, I do this. Okay, cool, man. You know, and like that approach, a lot of customers became friends, and a lot of those friends became family. And we still have associations that started because of that. And just pretty much being genuinely interested in people is going to open a lot of doors. I don't see people as a money sign. I see them as a person. You know, I see people as they're a person. I don't see people as money. How can I help you? What can I do for you? I started in a taco stand, right? And eventually you want to move ahead.
Right.
Whatever ambitions you have. Some people are comfortable, and that's fine. But I wanted bigger things in life, and having a taco stand didn't give me that, at least at that time, it didn't give me that peace of mind. It was always in the back of my head, oh, you know what? What if the city comes? What if this? What if that? What if I get kicked out? I didn't want to have that. I said, you know what? While I'm here, I'm going to do it just until I get ahead. Until I'm able to save some money, pay some money, until. And I always see myself, okay, I want a truck, I want a restaurant, I want this, I want that. And it's so crazy because people would tell me, Teddy, it's hard having a truck. It's hard having a restaurant, right? I said, okay. But you have to check, but you have to see it from their perspective. So I was like, well, why is it hard? What's so hard about it, right? I have a picture of a van that I'll share with you, so you can probably post it here in the podcast. This van costs, my mom lent me the money, $1,100. It's an old beat up van, which I still have. And I will put everything there. You know, the plancha, the everything, trash can. It was just everything. The ollas, the meat, everything was there, right? So that was literally my running business, and it was hard, bro. It was hard having to load up the van and if it breaks down, and it was just tough. And I said, you know what? It'll be nice to have a food truck. It'll be so easy to have a food truck. So I used to go pick it up, turn it on, turn the plancha on, have my own fridge, start cooking. It'll be nice to have that. But obviously, that nice comes with consequences. Consequences, you have to pay for the parking, the comisaria. Mm-hmm. You have to pay insurance. You have to maintenance. Mm-hmm. It comes with a cost. If you want good stuff, it comes with a cost. Right? But we got the truck. And in the beginning, we weren't making any money. People don't know about us. We had no social media. Well, let me backtrack that. We had social media. We had maybe a couple hundred followers. So what do you do there? What do you do when you started a business and you have no people coming? What do? You know you're already paying. I had my mom talking all this negative shit. She's my language. All this negative. Teddy, la renta, Teddy, no tenemos clientes. And then people will show up. Hey, quiero pollo. Quiero asada. So what do you do? You know, what do you do when? So I'll tell you a secret. You don't allow your circumstances to dictate your outcome. What does that mean? Yes, everything's negative. Yes, everything's bad. Everything's going bad, right? But what can you do? I think Theodore Roosevelt said this: wherever you are, be your best. Give your best with whatever tools you have. So I have my truck. I'm in South Central. I had one person showed up. I made it my goal to treat every customer like $1 million customer. So I would see somebody pulling in. I would put a smile. I would literally take off my apron. Hey, hola, buenas tardes. Bienvenidos a Teddy's. Mire, vendemos birria. My excitement were literally, it was already, the sale was already made. Because I was so excited. So you couldn't tell me no. I remember this guy, he like, hey, quiero un burrito. Oh, jefe, disculpe, no vendemos burritos. We don't sell burritos. Ah, qué chingados venden. Ok, dame unos tacos de asada. Jefe, no vendemos asada. Oh, sorry, boss, we don't sell asada. Ah, you know what? Vendemos, entonces, ¿qué chingados venden? What do you guys sell then?
Yeah.
Okay, we sell birria.
Yeah.
It's an old school guy, you know? Okay, dame birria con tortillas a mano en un... Jefe, we don't sell birria like that. He was mad. He wanted to eat, right?
Yeah, frustrated.
But none of that stuff that he was asking, I didn't have that in my menu. I didn't have burrito. I didn't have chicken. I didn't have birria de chivo. And I had no tortillas a mano. I only had a deluxe plate,
right,
which is 4 little items in a caldito. So what do you do when this person wants something and it's mad because you don't have that? What do? You get mad? Do you scream at him? What normal people do is scream. Said, hey, give me 1 second. Let me get you a free sample. If you don't like it, no big deal. I went and served a caldo de Teddy's, caldo de birria. So, pruébelo. Me lo probó. Wow, esto está bueno. Dame 4 tacos, 2 calditos. Vieja, vente. His wife, he called her from the truck. They went and eat. So it converted his negativity into something positive, into a sell. I flipped it around. I didn't allow his whatever he came. My excitement. So your excitement, your enthusiasm, whatever you have going on. If you cut hair, if you're a hair designer, not hair designer, hair, whatever you do.
Yeah.
Your excitement is when it sells. Your excitement is when it opens doors. You have to legitimately be more excited. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary is the little extra effort you put in. You're extra excited, extra motivated, extra grateful. Nobody's going to follow someone that's not just pessimist, negative. You know, those times have changed, you know. If you can be operating and a mindset from the 60s, 70s, 80s right now. You know, like back then, you know, they're all mad. But why they're mad? That they're operating a different mindset, right? But they have a good product. You still go. But I promise you this, if let's say a business have have employees that are rude right now, and someone that's nice, who do you think is going to succeed in business now?
People with the nice employees.
You have to have like the nice attitude. You have to be willing to be friendly, be different. You can't operate in a business mindset of, I don't care, you know what? Because they can easily type in bad reviews, bad comments, and they can destroy your business, but in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So we can't operate a business thinking like in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, even 2000s, not even early 20s, you know, to 2020s. We need to change our whole mindset, our whole philosophy going into business. Especially nowadays, if you're trying to open any business, if you're trying to work for yourself, even if you're trying to get a job, you have to stand up from the crowd. How are you going to stand up from the crowd? How? How are you going to be different from 100 businesses, from 100 other employees? How? How are you going to stand up? How? So that's the kind of thinking and questions you need to ask yourself. Those are some serious questions, because like, why am I not getting ahead? Or I went to apply for that job and nobody called me. Why would I, let's say, unfortunately, there's 100 applications and there's, okay, like, in order to stand out from the crowd, you need to be different. Be willing to stand out. And be uncomfortable. You have to be willing to be uncomfortable. And it's hard to be uncomfortable. It's hard when people are telling you no. It's hard when people are telling you you're dumb, you're stupid, it's not gonna work. Look at you, you're a failure. Look at you living paycheck to paycheck. That's not gonna work out. What do you do different when people are telling you all those negative things? You have to be so committed, so excited, so sold on your dreams that it doesn't matter what other people are telling you. You have to be so convinced. When I was there broke, selling tacos in my taco stand, with no people coming in and my mom nagging all this negative stuff, I was seeing myself successful. I was seeing myself helping out. I was seeing myself already in the middle of all that poverty, you could say, brokenness, depression, all this. I was seeing myself rich, wealthy, in a nice house, helping out. So you have to be willing to step away from your current circumstances and see in the future, get excited about it, then come back and start acting like you already have all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So I will see myself having a truck. I will see myself having a restaurant. I will see myself giving my mom a nice home. When I was broke, when people were telling me, Teddy, you're crazy. Why are you selling birria tacos? You don't even know how to cook. You don't even know how to chop the onions, how to chop the cilantro. People will criticize. To this moment, I don't know how to cut onions and cilantro. But I got people that do. I got a lot of people that know perfectly how to cut onions and how to cut cilantro. I got people that know how to make tacos very quick. I'm not quick, but I got a lot of people that are way better than me. So, but in order to achieve that, you have to be willing to go through the process. Until it's a long process. It's a lonely process. Mm-hmm. It's hard. It's a hard process. You know, there were moments there that I was doubting myself. I'm like, am I even doing the right thing? Should I probably go back to get a job, go back to school? Maybe my mom's right. Maybe this is not going to work out. Maybe this, maybe that. But I want to invite you on this. What if it works out? What if it's possible? What if they say yes? You know, when you're in the middle of decision and you're telling yourself, oh man, I don't think it's going to work out. I don't think it's possible. I don't think I'll get that loan. I don't think they'll say yes. I want to invite you to stop and start saying, what if it's possible? What if I can get out of this situation? What if I can have my own business? What if I can have customers? What if? So get excited about what if, and start acting like if it's already possible. What if it's possible you can have a bigger audience? Have your own office. What if it's possible? What if? How would you feel if that was possible? How would you feel?
Really good. Happy.
What else?
Fulfilled.
What else? What if it's possible? Hey, you think you can grow from this? Yeah, I don't know. Well, what if you can? What if? So I want to invite you guys to get excited of all the possibilities that are out there. We not only owe it to ourselves, but we owe it to our family. We need to prove a lot of people that the Latino community, we have a lot to give. We're hard workers. We got taught to work hard. Unfortunately, we didn't got taught to think hard. We're hard workers, but we're not hard thinkers. We're known for working hard. Comedy, everybody knows the Latinos, we'll make it happen. We'll build a house right away. But we weren't taught to think hard, to dream hard. I remember like in the rancho, they were like, hey, lo que te diga el patrón, trabaja duro, mijo, échenle ganas, lo que el patrón te diga. But they don't teach us how to become the patron, how to be the boss. And that's where all the books come in, the self-help books. We don't learn this in school. They don't teach that in school. They don't want us to be a boss. They don't want us to be outside thinkers. If you want to be a doctor, an attorney, yes, you have to go to school. You have to follow the process. But if you want to go in business for yourself, you have to learn other skills that you don't learn in school. Other like the self-help section, it's very important. The sales, everything sells. We need to learn a lot of selling skills, because either you're in business for yourself or in business with someone else. We constantly have to be selling. Either you're selling on your spouse, on your mom, on your viewers. You're set to sell your product, your information. We have to be a good selling our products, what we do.
Yeah.
So and we don't learn that in your traditional school. We have to take our time, learn, apply it, learn again, take courses, invest, and be willing to be different, be willing to get better, be willing to sacrifice. And I promise you, if you're willing to pay the price, great things can happen.
To me, it's obvious that you have a great attitude, and that's definitely something that helped you start, starting tacos and be successful. Did you find it difficult to relay this kind of culture to your employees, to help them talk and think and treat customers like you? Was it important to create this culture for your employees too?
We just came out of pandemic not too long ago. For a lot of people, pandemic was a big thing, right? A lot of people lost their businesses. A lot of people grew in this economy, right? So when we were going through this, we had employees that how can I say this?
Like, weren't motivated?
Yeah, we're going through tough times, so they weren't motivated. We were afraid. We were like, a lot of stuff happening. So we had to settle. What do you do, when that happens? People are getting sick, people are dying, people are losing their businesses, houses. What do you do? Yes, come on, guys, you have to be excited. You can't, like realistically, your employees, they're not going to be excited, but you can only do so much. I can try to get them excited. Our managers, our assistant managers. And this is what I like to encourage our people. Hey, I know Teddy's Red Tacos, it might not be our job, your dream job, or whatever you have, wherever you are working on right now. It might be your minimum wage job, or whatever you do. Everything respected. But while you're there, or you're in Teddy's, while you're here, do the best at it. Wherever you are, do the best. It's only a stepping stone to wherever you want to be or to wherever you're heading. So I tell my people, hey, don't do here what you don't want other people to do to you. So you might want to own your business later on, right? So would you want people to steal from you? Of course not. Do you want people to be late? Do you want people to be drunk? Do you want people to be high? Of course not, right? So don't do those kind of things here. I know this is only a stepping stone to wherever you want to head. And I know that. And I respect that. So while you're here, or wherever you are, be happy and give it your best. And if you're not happy, that's fine. You don't have to stay with us. Find somewhere else where you're going to be happy. Because I want people to be happy. And I every meeting that we have, I tell my managers, I tell my people, be happy. Wherever you are, be happy. If you're staying here with us, stay happy. If you're not happy, find somewhere else and just go and be happy. I'm not sure if that's fair to say.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So I know you can push that because a lot of people see that as a job. Like, oh, you just need to pay my bills. I hate this job. But if we changed our attitude, like, hey, well, I'm grateful. At least I have a job. I'm grateful. It might not be the best, but I'm grateful that this job, driving for Uber, driving for Lyft, or this construction or this clerical work is paying for the bills, or it's giving me something for being there. So while I'm here, I'm gonna give my best. Cause I had really odd jobs. People tell me, Teddy, relax, chill, you know? I'm like, nah, I'm not trying to chill. I'm not trying to like be known as the guy that's lazy and I don't do nothing. Like, no. I'll ask the boss, hey, I want to make more money. What do I need to do? How can I make more money? I'll constantly be asking those questions. You know, when I came back from TJ, I was driving for Uber. Then a friend of mine referred me to this company in Paramount. And we were like moving stuff around. I was making, I think, minimum wage. And I wanted to make more money. And I asked him, what do I need to do to make more money? We'll give you a $1 raise if you buy your own toolbox, your little toolbox. So you can start putting together and breaking the equipment, the whatever tools. I mean, you have to move some stuff around. You need your tools. So it was $300 investment. You get a $1 raise. Okay, that makes sense. I'll keep the tools afterwards and I'll get a $1 raise. So I went to Home Depot and I made that investment. And I was constantly always, I wanted to be known that if you want me to work, you don't want me to work more or do something extra, like, hey, let me know because I want it.
Yeah.
So you want to stand out from the crowd, wherever you are. So wherever you are, be your best. And there's opportunities wherever you are. There's people making a lot more money than you are. Mm-hmm. Right? So there's money out there, but the question is, but the people that are willing to pay the price, people that are willing to be uncomfortable and be willing to pay the price. But the money's out there, though.
I like, I've watched a lot of your podcasts before. I like how this conversation, like we're having conversations and not your typical conversations. So I really appreciate that for sure, because, you know, I feel like you're like a wealth of knowledge with all the stuff that you've learned over the years. And I want to say thank you for sharing that with us for sure.
My pleasure. I'm just paying it forward. Someone else taught me this great information. Now it's my job, my duty, my responsibility to pay it forward. So there's more Latinos, more people, not only Latinos, but anybody listening to this podcast or this message. Doesn't matter where you started, doesn't matter what happened, doesn't matter if you just came out of prison or out of a divorce, or you're 18 years old, or you're 85, 90 years old, you're confused, you don't know what to do. Hey, use me as an example. You know, I was depressed. My ex left me. I couldn't see my kid. I was drinking a lot. I was on alcohol. I was 30 years old, living in East LA with my mom, and I couldn't figure it out. So one of the first things I did was, and if you're in a similar situation, and if you're a believer, I'm a big believer of God, I went to church. I went to church and I asked God for help, and I asked God for forgiveness. I had a lot of hate towards my ex, So that's one of the persons that I had to forgive. Then the second person that, and most important person that I needed to forgive was myself. So that was the hardest thing to do. So I looked myself in the mirror and I forgave myself. So if you have anger, if you have anything, reach out for help. There's a lot of places that are willing to help, but you have to be willing to put aside your pride and ask for help. Doesn't matter your circumstances, doesn't matter your age. I was 30 years old. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I asked for help. And once that, I forgave myself and I forgave my ex. It was like a release that was holding me down. And throughout my life, I would try one thing and I would try another, and I wouldn't have success. I would try to take one step forward, and I would end up 2-3 steps backwards. And I was, why? I'm a good person. I'm trying to do good, but I couldn't. So it was till I hit rock bottom, and I forgave myself, and I forgave my ex. And I said to God, what do you want from me? And a boy said, well, you have this recipe that you learned in TJ. I said, okay. If I want to start something new with no experience, I made a decision and I made a commitment to be the best at it. That was my decision. You know what? I want to make the best. I want to be the best taquero. I want to give people the best customer service, the best experience. I might not have the best product, but I want to give them the best experience. That was my commitment. And that opened doors with radio, with Ryan Seacrest, came on the radio, came out, and I'm humbled to say this, came on the radio, we came in a lot of magazines. That's one of the best tacos on Yelp, on Google, one of the best tacos in LA. And we catered Chrissy Teigen in Beverly Hills. And we had all this information, all this. When you look up Teddy's Tacos, the best tacos, Teddy's Tacos, Teddy's Tacos, Teddy's Tacos, Teddy's Tacos. So going back to the Super Bowl, how did we come on the Super Bowl? We were already there, right? So the Super Bowl went to 2 states before coming to LA. I think the Super Bowl was going to be, I believe, in Georgia, and they looked for anything that would stand out. They wanted to sponsor a Latino with an interesting story. So they went to Georgia, and nothing really stood out. The next big state, Texas. Nothing really stood out from Texas. This is what they told me, right? Because I asked them, why me? Why? How did you guys find me? I had a lot of questions. I had more questions probably than they had questions for me. I'm like, why me? Why? I honestly thought that was a scam, to be honest. I was very skeptical. But they said they went to Texas and nothing really stood out. And then from here, it was two. There was like another person that would sell, I think, hats, sombrero, something like that, and me. If I wouldn't answer, they wouldn't go to the other person. But they were waiting for me to respond so they can run with it.
Nice.
But we had already done our work, right? So it wasn't like, oh, well, you got lucky, Teddy. No, because we were like among the top, like we were there. Our name was, we were there. We're already in the radio. We're already kidding famous people like Chrissy Teigen. I don't know if you heard about it,
John Legend's wife.
Yes. We were already doing big stuff. We already had big lines in our food truck. So when the Super Bowl hit, it was just it just took us to the next level. But I was there working. I was there. And every day, working, success. Working, success. So you have to be working, but stay with a positive attitude, humble, down to earth. Then pandemic hit, and it was a different story. And we went from 3 locations to 11 locations afterwards.
But now you're at 11 locations. You're a very successful taco business right now. What's next for you? What are some of the goals that you're kind of looking forward to? Because I think that's, like you said, it's important to always look further ahead for your next why, right? Currently, right now, where you find yourself, what's your next why for your business?
For the business, that's a great question. So now we're kind of restructuring the whole thing. Right now we're remodeling restaurants. We're adding new items to the menu. So we're getting it tighter. And right now we're working a lot behind the scenes. People don't know that, but we're working on making a lot of changes, a lot of improvements. Pretty much like, let's say, Teddy's 2.0. I'm coming to Teddy's 2.0. But I want that to be a surprise.
Okay.
I want that to be a surprise because we grew very quick.
Right.
We grew very quick, but you have to be ready as well. Going back a little bit, a couple years ago, you were in a taco stand, you were in a food truck, and how do you end up with 11 locations? I don't know if I call it luck. Maybe I was lucky. I've been blessed, you can say. Pandemic did help a lot. Pandemic helped a lot because a lot of people, unfortunately, were losing their restaurants. A lot of people. So we were like at a pinnacle time when people were like, we already had a name, we already had a brand, we've been in the Super Bowl, we had a documentary with Univision that they made for us. We had a lot of press presence. So when pandemic hit, people were afraid of their businesses, right? So that's when people were approaching me, Teddy, I got this restaurant, like the Mariscos place in Southgate. You know, like he's been in business forever, right? The owner of the Marisco spot. So hey, I found out he was selling all his restaurants. He was trying to, I'm out. He was literally retiring. He offered me all his 3 restaurants. You know, and a lot of people did that. So I said, you know what? How much you want for it? You know, I wasn't in real estate. I wasn't in finance, but it just made sense. How much you want for it? Okay. Do you take payments? How much would a payment be? If I were to rent that spot, how much would my rent would be? Oh, double. Okay. Well, if we can come up with a down payment, we just continue paying it. I'm like, that makes sense. Let's do it. Like the one in Whittier, it's an old Whittier show. Same thing. I get a phone call. Hey, they're setting this restaurant. It's in the corner. I wasn't even looking for that because I didn't believe I qualified for them. That's another thing. My credit wasn't even good. I didn't qualify to purchase a building because I was still I was coming from a repo. I had bad credit. Bank of America had sent me to check system. I don't know if you know that. If you don't pay them, if you go negative on your chargebacks, and it was like $150. I didn't pay them at the time. They sent me to collections, but that pretty much it's telling you can't open a bank account with Bank of America because you did them wrong. So when I tried to pay it, I think I paid it, but they're like, okay, we don't want you here anymore. So imagine coming out of that. My credit score was like 490, I think, 480. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. Yeah. All that. No credit, no support, no spouse support, out of depression, out of the alcoholism. How do you get out of that to have multiple locations? First of all glory to God. I could say, forgive yourself. Be willing to pay the price. Be excited about life. Be willing to go the extra mile. Be willing to pay the price. And when you're faced with an obstacle, with a decision, and you start doubting yourself, switch that to, what if it's possible? What if it works? What if I get it? What if this works out? That literally alone, that philosophy has got me where I'm at right now. That simple, basic stuff. What if it works? Like example, people would tell me, Teddy, you're crazy with a food truck. You're crazy. You're going too fast. Why would you want a food truck? There's a lot of taco stands that have been in there for years. And you only been 9 months in business and you want a taco truck. I said, yes. Because I want to be in peace. I want to be better. So I got the taco truck. I didn't listen to my negative surroundings. Then I wanted a restaurant, right? I wanted a restaurant. I want to open at the restaurant in Downey with a drive-through, patio, and all this, very nice. And I started asking, so careful who you ask questions to. I asked my mom. My mom's just a wonderful heart, but she knows nothing about big businesses. Ma, quiero abrir un restaurante. Daddy, estás loco. La renta casi $9,000, $9,000 to rent a restaurant, dog. How? You know, you're crazy. Pregúntale a tu tío. Go ask your uncle. And I asked an uncle. And he meant good. I respect that. But I don't know, his vision wasn't that big. So he said, oh no, careful with Downey. Downey's a big city. Downey's different. You're coming from South Central. You're in the hood. You're good here, but Downey's a whole different thing. So it's hard to operate a restaurant. People will tell me this all the time. It's hard. I'm like, why is it hard? No, it's all the permits and all the stuff you need and this and this and that. And I'm like, well, is it harder than operating a food truck? Oh yes, much harder. I'm like, why? Why is it harder? Because I was running a food truck. I had to go pick it up. I had to drive the truck. Then we started getting bigger. I needed a van for my tables. And then I need another van for my little warehouse to store my sodas, my drinks, my cups. Then we got even more bigger, and I need a bigger van for my tents. And on the weekends, we needed more tables. So I had 3 vans that we had to park and just to set up the whole puestos for the weekend. It was 20 tables on the weekends. So it was a mission. My people had to get there earlier, like 2 hours earlier, to set up tents and tables. The whole, we had like 10 coolers in the floor. So for me, it was like, man, this is hard. We need to get a restaurant. In a restaurant, you just walk in, open the door, turn the plancha on, turn the lights on. Hi guys, welcome, pásale. I'm like, that's easy.
Yeah.
That's easy. That's one of the easiest things to do. But when you already paid the price, or when you already know it's hard to run a puesto, then it's hard to run a food truck. But when you see, once you see the restaurant, like, oh, it's not that hard compared to that. But if you're trying to open a restaurant right now out of nowhere, of course it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
But if you go through the process, it's not hard. Like me going back to the story, coming back to Mexico. That's why a lot of people that come from Mexico, they get ahead much quicker than people that we live here. Why? Because they have the hunger. They're motivated. They see how hard it is in Mexico to get ahead. And then come here, and they know that we can get ahead so easy. So compared to that, we have to see how hard it is out there in the world compared to here in the U.S. That's like, hey, we don't have it that hard. We don't have it that hard. We make it think it's hard. We get it in our little bubble, our little circle. We have to be careful with that, because out here, this is what I figured out. The U.S. system is pretty interesting. It's cool. It's good and bad. It's bad because if you're trying to do something, it kind of stops you and limits you. Because like right now, we just passed Valentine's Day. Then what's all these holidays? Oh, we have this, we have that. Oh, then Cinco de Mayo, we have to have a carne asada. What are you gonna do for Cinco de Mayo? What are you gonna do for Labor Day? What are you gonna do for St. Patrick's? For 4th of July? Party, 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 party. And that's great if you already made it. That's great if you're not going anywhere. That's great if you have no goals, no ambitions. But if you have some goals and ambitions, put that to a side and get to work. Get to work in your goals. Go to work on your skills, on your speaking skills, on your language skills, on whatever you have going on. Go work on getting a better version of yourself. And put all of that to the side and commit to working, getting better, improving yourself if you want things to get better. That's my message to you guys.
I like it. Before I was doing Uber Eats for a little bit, and a few times I had to go to Venice and go to Teddy's Red Tacos to pick up some orders. And I'll go in there, and I've already been to the Sloss's location. I've been to the Downey one already. So like when I go to these locations, there's people that look like us, that dress like us. A lot of Mexicans, Latinos eating tacos. I'll go in there, and you have the Venice crowd. people in suits, people hipsters and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, look at all these hipsters enjoying Mexican tacos, like red tacos. How does it feel having a business in a location like Venice Beach? You know, it's one of the most famous cities, famous places in California, and it's like right next to the water. How does it feel having that location?
It goes back to the same thing we're speaking. Once you're willing to pay the price, great things can happen. Great things can happen. That's a result of working hard myself. If I was in my truck, in my food truck, if I would have been just, you know what, I'm good, I made it, I'm making money, I'm making more money than I ever made before, and if I would have been comfortable at that time, I would have not achieved that goal. When pandemic hit, I would have been, I'm good. You know what? I'm good. No, I said, you know what? I had 3 locations prior to pandemic. 2 food trucks and Venice Beach. But I said, I want more. I still wanted more. I had 3 locations and I still didn't have my own house. I still wasn't where I wanted to be. So I said, you know what? We need to stop partying, because I was already partying. I was already traveling. But you know what? I need to get serious about it, and we need to take it to the next level. Because food trucks is cool, it's cute, but it wasn't. It's a couple food trucks, no big deal. But running restaurants, okay. Let's take that challenge. Let's go let's go to Downey. They say it's hard, or let me prove them it's not. It wasn't, and it's still not hard. Why? Because they told me it wasn't possible. They told me, Teddy, you can't open a restaurant in Downey. So I put on my Teddy's hat, my Teddy's shirt. I show up to the city, and I told them, hey, I want to open a restaurant here in Downey. Oh, welcome to the city. A couple people knew me already, and oh, it's pretty cool. I'm like, I don't know what to do. One of the things you want to do is be straightforward. Don't think you have to know it all. I didn't know it all. I still don't know nothing, or very limited stuff. So I went in. I told them I wanted to open a restaurant. I said, oh, cool. Welcome to the city. Fill up this application. Go to the fire department over there. They need to go check your building. Go to the building in safety as well. Let them know that you can also check out your building. And it's going to be $150, and that's it. I'm like, no way. So you're telling me for less than $200, I can work in the city and we'll be good? Yeah, that's it. If everything's good with the fire department and your building is good, you're good to go. I'm like, oh, thank you. So they're like, welcome to the city. Thank you. So imagine if I would have listened to all the people telling me, no, you're crazy. Imagine. How are you going to run a drive-thru with birria? Who has done that? Like, I don't know. No one. So why will you do it? Why not me? Why not now? Why not me? Why not now? So if you listen to my conversation, it's a lot about positive things. So we all get opportunities. The difference is, what are we telling ourselves? Because I'm sure if we go back, you find a lot of opportunities, but sometimes for fear, or el que dirán. How do you say that? How do you translate el que dirán?
Like, what would they say? How would they judge me? Like,
yeah, what? Oh, I'm too old for that.
Yeah.
I'm too old to start something new. I'm good at cutting hair, but I'm good at, I got this job. I've been here for 10 years. I'm good. I got benefits. But I know I'm good at maybe cooking barbecue ribs, cutting hair, or editing, or talking in radio or in front of the camera, but I'm good here. I'm afraid. And stop pushing your fears to the side and start adapting new skills that are going to make you help you believe that it's possible, and surround with people that are going to help you achieve those goals. And that's what, as Raza, what we need, more people like that. We need people that, because we're hard workers. We bust our ass, doing roofing, doing cement, hustling, working. But we haven't learned to think hard, to dream hard, to believe that it's possible. So I'm here a living testimony that a couple years ago I was dead broke. Perdón la palabra, valiendo madres, they're broke. Pawning my stuff in East LA for Cesar Chavez, a couple pawn shops, to now running multiple locations. You know, I didn't own a home, to now owning, I could say, multiple homes.
Nice.
Owning multiple of my buildings in my restaurants. We own the building. How do you, and I say this humbly, I don't say this to impress you guys or impress you, but to impress upon you guys. If you guys start applying this principle, start reading the book, start learning new things, and stop putting aside the game, the football game, the Dodgers game, the hanging out, and always nice. It's nice with my boys, and I'm gonna have a beer. Put aside for some time, and then go back to it. I promise you, great things can happen. Great things can happen if you're willing to pay the price long enough until, and while you're paying the price, get excited, get motivated, and be grateful.
Dope. I think we should end it on that one. That was a beautiful way to end it. I think for the most part they know where to find your locations, but just in case there's anybody out there that's never tried Teddy's Red Tacos, what are some of the spots that you are selling your tacos and where they can find you to find out more about you?
Yeah, so my name is Teddy. Once again, Teddy. I'm the owner of Teddy's Red Tacos. We currently have 11 locations. You can follow us on Instagram, on social media, anything kind of platform. Teddy's Red Tacos. Right now we're like 10 spots here in the LA County and 1 in Anaheim. So it's total 11 spots. And check us out. We have some great birria tacos. I heard they're one of the best, so try them out.
Perfect. Awesome. If you guys are still watching, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Also, share this with a couple friends. Do you want to say anything else?
Yeah. And thanks a lot for the invite.
Appreciate you coming.
You know, I love your vibe, love your energy here, and I'm sure you end up doing some amazing things. I can feel it. You have a big heart, and anything I can do, you have a friend here with me.
Thanks, man. Really appreciate it. Guys, again, remember to rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts. Anyway, you guys heard this podcast, make sure you guys give us a good rating. And shout out to Teddy for pulling up to the podcast. Really appreciate him being here. And like I always say, pull up, turn up, and stay lit. Let's get it.